Welcome to the Academic Writing Amplified podcast. On this podcast, we believe that the culture of academia needs to change radically. Women and non-binary people are revolutionizing academia within institutions that were not built for us. If you're ready to reject the culture of overwork, kick guilt and overwhelm to the curb, and amplify your voice to make a real impact on your field without breaking down or burning out, you're in the right place. With our team of experienced writing coaches as co-hosts, we'll share insights and talk to inspiring guests to bring you the practical strategies, systems, and mindset shifts you need to find time to write, publish work you love, and design your career on your terms. And it all starts with writing. Let's go.
Okay. Hi. I'm Kathy Mazek, and I'm coming to you on behalf of Scholar's Voice in a room that I'm renovating. Welcome to today's episode. Today, we are talking about the real, more amazing and awesome results of changing your writing practice. So around here, I talk a lot about writing and publishing. In fact, this episode is brought to you by our Navigate program, which is open for enrollment now. And you can start the application process by going to scholarsvoice.org/navigate and finding the pink button to start your application. Every single applicant in this round is going to talk to me before they enroll. So I'm super excited to get to know you better, but you got to start the application process. So find that pink button on that page and apply. Today, I really want to talk about why we talk so much, or why I talk so much about writing and publishing as being like the catalyst for change in your career. It's the thing that's going to start changes for a more satisfying, joyful career, not just a more productive career, but a better career. The thing that's going to start that is a focus on writing. So let me back up a little bit. Definitely one of the things that many academics struggle with is getting their publications out, for so many reasons. There's so many reasons. One of the reasons is that collecting data and coming up with new ideas and new projects, and even like advancing science and advancing our line of research is super exciting, right? Like, yeah, that we want to do that. But then when it comes to taking what is already a very long process, right, of a lot of times grant writing, getting data collection, analysis, write-up, peer review of the write-up, like all of it takes so long that it's kind of makes sense that the end of the process, which is like submitting the publication and revising publications that have gotten revised and resubmit comments, we might peter out. So that's one reason. Another reason that it's really hard to get publications out is that the idea of publications is really, I think, put on a pedestal in a certain kinds of publications, right? Peer-reviewed publications, books, if you're in a book field, and by certain publishers, right? And so those kinds of things, those publications are put on a pedestal, and they're the currency, right, of academia. They can help you get a job. They can help you get more grants. It's not just getting your voice out, but they also have this like almost a monetary quality to them because they are needed for you to advance in your career in different ways. So while we're putting publications on a pedestal, that doesn't correlate to putting writing and writing time and nurturing our writing, developing our writing practice. Those two things are not equally on pedestals. And so I find that like really ironic. I've talked about it before in my podcast. But really, like what I want to say about it is that is the reason why we need to put a focus in our professional development as professors on writing. Yes, writing and publishing. Yeah, like when we talk about Navigate, what the goal of our programs is that you submit publications. Actually, one of the goals of Navigate is that at the end of 12 weeks, you submit a draft, or you submit a something for publication that you already, that thing that's been sitting around in your virtual drawer, half done for a long time. We help you move that through your publication pipeline in 12 weeks. That's one of the aspects of the program. So yes, publications are important, but writing and writing practice is also really important. The focus on writing and writing practice is what is going to get you some really amazing upsides, like not just that you will publish, because obviously the more you write, the more you will submit, the more you will publish, right? If you're doing, professional development and thoughtfulness and intention around your writing and publishing, then the result of more attention to writing practice and development of writing practice will be more publications, right? As long as you're nurturing that writing practice in a way that feels aligned with your working style, with what you want, with how you want your career to be, then the result of more attention to writing will be more publications. But there's other, even more amazing results to focusing on writing practice. And so I just wanted to go over a few of those with you today. So we talk about, like, what I like to say about a writing practice. We call it has a name inside of our Scholar's Voice world. It's called the soaring system. And the reason it has soaring in it is that what we are looking to create in your writing practice is a feeling of kind of like a bird soaring through the sky, not a bird frantically flapping wings, but a bird floating on air currents. They've already done their flapping and they're soaring through the sky, right? This bird, if you can picture, I like to picture an owl, right? It's very, very academic, a little bit Harry Potter. The owl is swooping. The owl has a great high level view of everything. The owl is unbothered by what's going on. The owl is in charge. The owl is uplifted by invisible energy. And that is what we want the writing practice to be like. That's the metaphor for the writing practice. That's why we call our writing, the system that we coach through, the soaring system. And it has different parts to it and things that, I'm not going to get into the details of that. But what happens when you start to have a focus on that type of feeling in your writing practice, we call it a sustainable relationship-based writing practice, because to get that soaring feeling, you have to work on your relationship with writing. That's why relationship-based, okay? Because you actually need to put time and energy and intention into nurturing your relationship with writing, okay? So when you start to do that, here are some of the process of doing that. I'm going to explain some of the things that happen, and then the real results, not just publications, but other awesome things that happen when you start to do this writing practice work. So when you're starting to focus on your writing practice, there's some things that you will begin to do. You're going to begin to learn much more about yourself, at least the way that we coach around writing practice. What I want for you is not that you are employing tricks or hacks, or that you're doing something that other people have found successful. What we want is for you to really understand your own writing practice and why you do things. So how long does it take you to get started writing? When is your best time of day to write, where things feel like the easiest? If you're not holding boundaries around writing, why? All of those things. And as you start to develop that, the result is more self-awareness, more self-trust, and more self-confidence. And that is an amazing upside of a focus on writing practice. Another focus on writing practice is that because you have to be suddenly protective of time around your writing, you have to start changing the way you make decisions. So if you're currently right now, not finding time to write, things aren't moving through the pipeline the way that you want them to, one of the things you're going to have to do is really refine your decision-making process. So when you have an opportunity to get some writing done, but you choose something else, that's a moment of decision-making that you need to kind of pay attention to and refine and make better so that you can choose the writing and do the writing. And when you start to do that, You are creating boundaries around you're holding boundaries. You're getting better at holding boundaries. And so what we find is that that's like practice for holding boundaries around other aspects of your career and in your life, really. So when you are focusing on your writing and learning how to nurture your writing practice, you begin to refine your decision making so that you're making decisions in favor of you, so that your decision making supports you and your development very deeply. So instead of like, well, I'm always like reacting to what other people need, and so my career is very reactionary, instead, you're going to be starting to make decisions first by practicing with writing, and then this will spill over into other kind of areas of your career. You're going to be making decisions in a very like focused way, in a very centered and intentional way. And that has, again, like great upsides for your career. And that, to me, the best way to learn how to refine that decision-making process is by working on developing your writing practice. And then the last thing I want to talk about is, as you do those things, you're going to start to be able to create the lifestyle that you want in this professorship. So when we don't have a writing practice that really is, like I say, right, sustainable, relationship-based, the writing practice is resilient. You don't have to be so resilient if your writing practice is resilient. When those things are in place, then you can begin to treat yourself more humanely inside of an academic context that does not treat, especially women, humanely, right? Like we're just supposed to like be the workhorses. We're supposed to do all the service work. We're supposed to say yes to everything. And that is not like, when we are operating under that kind of traditional cultural model of academia, where it's like the lone scholar and anything for science, or whatever, or for art or whatever, like it doesn't recognize everybody's full humanity. This idea that you can never take time off, right? That you could always be writing, like all of these things do not recognize your humanness. And so as you start to refine your writing practice and you start to put up boundaries and you start to make better decisions and you start to have the joy of writing, right? Because actually almost everybody who comes into our Navigate program is like, I actually love writing. I just need to get to have time to do it, like they're not afraid of writing. They don't feel like they're bad at writing. They actually feel like good writers who are stymied by all the other things that are going on in their careers. So as you start to do that development of your writing practice, you can also be, or you will also be creating moves towards the lifestyle that you want. One of the things that I like to talk about a lot is putting writing at the center of your career. And this video is really just another riff on that idea. But the writing at the center of your career idea, one of the aspects of that is that if you're writing, if you're like, I'm so busy during the day, so that means I'm writing on nights and weekends. What you're doing there is you're putting writing literally on the edges of your time, like on the outskirts of your career, because your career is happening in your working hours, right? 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or to 5, like sometime in the meat of the day. And that's where your writing needs to be. And so many of us are like, yeah, but I don't have a minute to think Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So I have to do it on Saturdays because it's more calm, or I have to do it in the evening because there's no other time. And so when you start to focus on developing your writing practice, you start to create that same calm feeling and like lack of pull that you feel while you're writing on Saturday or Sunday. You can create that in the week. I know you're like, what? No, but yeah, you can. In fact, you must, because you need Saturday and Sunday to rest, because writing needs rest. You need to recover from all the amazing thinking and brain work that you're doing as a professor in order to have a sustainable career and a sustainable writing practice. So you must figure out the way to make the writing fit into the workday or work week and to engineer or craft that same feeling of being unrushed and unpulled during the week, not just on Saturday when you can hide up in your house or go to campus when nobody's there or anything like that. Let me just say, if that's working for you, I don't want to say don't do that. What I'm saying, though, is that there are other possibilities that might mean that you, instead of working on Saturday and Sunday, you're filling your cup in ways that are restorative for you. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I really wanted to get into, like we all want to, like we think like, oh, I'm going to change my writing practice so I can get more publications out. Yes. And also when you work on creating a sustainable relationship-based writing practice, you're going to increase your confidence around and your self-trust, not just about your writing and publishing, but about your career and your scholarship. You're going to be making decisions in favor of you. So you're going to refine your decision-making process, and you're going to be creating the lifestyle that you want so that this job can be sustainable. Like so many people that I've talked to lately have been saying like, yeah, I need to figure this out because maybe this isn't the job for me if I have to keep going at this pace. If you're feeling like that, you are not alone. You should know you're not alone. Most of the people coming into Navigate are saying that. So because I'm on enrollment calls, I get to kind of hear everybody's stories. And I just want you to know that that's like kind of a general sentiment that I'm feeling throughout the people who I talk to who are in our programs or are coming into our programs. So you're not alone there. If you're looking for creating a better, more sustainable, manageable lifestyle because you love your job, but you are worried you can't, sustain the way that you're doing it now. So that is my message for today. Like I said at the top of this episode, Navigate Your Writing Roadmap is our 12-week writing and publishing program where we will work with you through coaching and co-writing to not only get that almost done article out by the end of the 12 weeks, but also to nurture and develop your writing practice. We start high level with your publication pipeline and writing project management. We dig into more time management, holding time, being able, like I was mentioning before, right? Moving that writing practice into the meat of your day instead of having it be on the edges. We learn the many different parts of the soaring system to create a resilient writing practice. And you get to do that in a community of peers. And the group that's shaping up now is so beautiful. It's so much fun to talk to them. So our application process has 3 steps. First, you apply. So I'm going to put the link in the description here, but you can just go to scholarsvoice.org. Please note .org, scholarsvoice.org/navigate. Find the pink button. It should say apply if applications are open. If applications aren't open because you're listening to this at some other time, then the button will say join the waitlist. So I would love for you to do that. And then we enroll 3 times a year. So right now we're accepting applications. Our 3-part process is a short application. If your application is accepted, then you will take a brief assessment. We call it the Navigate Benchmark Assessment. And then we will have a 45-minute call together called the pre-enrollment call to talk about your assessment, make sure that you understand everything about the program and get all your questions answered and come to a decision about enrollment by the end of the call. So that's how it works. Our little cohort is shaping up. And then I can't wait to get your application. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. And just know that when you're working on and nurturing your writing practice, there's so many other upside benefits. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you so much for spending your valuable time supporting yourself and your writing by listening to this episode. If you like what you heard today, the best way to say thank you is to hop on over to Apple iTunes and write an honest review. The more reviews, the more amazing academic women and non-binary people will find this podcast. So go write one now.